Well, howdy there, folks. How's it going today? I hope you're all doing really good. Well, we've got a Martin acoustic on the bench here today. This is a d15m, the letter M standing for mahogany. This is mahogany back, sides, and top. It's a very nice sounding guitar, actually. This one belongs to my father. Now, I refretted this, I think it was a few months ago, somewhere in that time period, and I used OEM Martin fret wire. I got a good deal on some, and we put the same exact stuff back in it. But the problem is it's really narrow, and my father plays this guitar every single day, and they wear out quicker when it's thinner, and they're a little uncomfortable at times on the fingers. So we've decided to go with some medium fret wire. This is medium. There's the dimensions, and that's the place that I got it from. That was right on eBay. Good deal. That's where I buy most of my fret wire, and they ship it right out. I've never had any issues at all. So let's get the strings off and get to work. Okay, the strings are off, and we're going to get going here. I'm going to plug in the soldering iron right now and get that warmed up, and we'll start pulling these out. Okay, so I've cut a little groove in the tip of this soldering iron just for fret removal, and that's the only reason I use this. I have multiple soldering setups, but this is just kind of delegated to fret work. And it just keeps it on there and keeps you from sliding off. If you're doing a guitar with binding or something like that, sometimes you can slip off or hit the finish. So it's a good little safety in itself. Okie doke, we got the strings off. Let my soldering iron heat up here. Now you can see I've got a groove in the tip here. And that's just to keep it on the fret wire, and it keeps me from slipping off, hitting a piece of binding or the finish or what have you. So I just kind of delegated this one just for fret work, and that's all I use it for. Okay, that should be hot enough. Now the reason I'm heating them up is because I know these are glued in there, and the reason I know is because I was the guy that put them in. So I know I got to heat them up. I did use fish glue when I glued these in, so they should come out pretty easy. Again, if you have binding or something like that, you got to be careful out on the edges that you don't get things too hot, because you can melt that binding. Some of it's flammable too, so be very careful. All right, that should get us going. Okay, I'm using some homemade fret removal pliers. It's not that I find anything wrong with the store-bought ones, but I've been doing it like this for quite a while, so I'm just kind of used to how they work, and I take my time and I do it anyway. I'm not in a big race. Those are coming out pretty nice, though. Alright, so basically you just get underneath the fret wire and just keep munching your way across there, and it will kind of pull it out nice and clean like that. So there's not a lot of chip out there. I mean, very minimal. You can see where the barbs went in on the tang and whatnot. So these are filed on the ends. That way there's no tang showing on each side of the fretboard. Now, some people prefer that. Some people, don't really care as long as they don't feel the fret ends on their hands. All right, so we're going to get right on to the next one. Blow some of that glue off there. It's also not a bad idea to take a razor blade or an X-Acto knife and score along each side of the fret. That can help with chipping and whatnot too. Now, when I refretted this, I usually take a 3-corner file and just chamfer the edges of the fret slot. And that helps, you know, for the next guy, if he's going to pull them out. As long as you get that glue hot, you should be pretty good as far as minimizing some of that chip out. Alright, let's get this one out. Okay, well, we're halfway across this one already. They're coming out nice and clean. No issues at all. So I may save these frets and just maybe use them as a reference when I get ready to make the other ones, and it really don't matter. You can just kind of guesstimate it, but you know, if they come out nice and straight, you could actually use those, you know, as a length gauge, if you will, for your new frets. Okay, we're moving right along. Everything's coming out nice and clean. No issues whatsoever, so that's a plus. Now, I try to keep my fret pulling pliers kind of not pushed with a ton of force, but I try to keep them flat on the fretboard, and that kind of helps with the chip out too. Now, they do make little metal things that will that's really thin too, really thin sheet metal that you can put, you know, along each side of the fret there. It's just basically a piece of sheet metal with a slot cut in the middle, and you can run your pliers across that, and that will help with the chip too. Now, mahogany isn't, rosewood's not too bad. It usually doesn't chip out really bad. Depends how old it is and how much glue is in there and all that kind of thing, but ebony seems to be the worst. That little slip there, and it happens, you know. So again, that's why I kind of hang on to my pliers here with one hand. It kind of helps. Now, I've heated several of these up already, so I'm going to heat, you know, 3 or 4 more up real quick and pull them out too. Alright. Oh, I just got a little shot of glue there on my soldering iron. Again, I think it's a good idea to heat your frets up. You never know if they're glued or not, so until you get going. Now, after you pull one fret out, you can pretty much tell if they're glued or not, if there's any residual glue in the slot or on the tang of the fret itself. Now, one thing I try not to do is pry like this, but I do have my cutters kind of rounded a little bit on the ends just for that, in case I need to. Alrighty, we're down to the last 2 frets here. And obviously that one's going to be stubborn. But that's okay, we'll get it one way or the other here. Alright, one more and we're done. Now, I'm going to have to T-top these frets, and the new ones, I'm saying, when I put them back in, so I'm not going to bore you guys with all that right now, but that's what I'm talking about. So that kind of hangs out over the binding there, and you don't see fret tang on the edges of the fretboard. It's all hidden, you know, so you got to cut the tangs a little bit shorter than the fretboard, obviously, and like I said, when you get done, it should look like that. Okay, well, that went decent. I think that's going to be it for today. I will shoot the next part of this tomorrow, and I'll clean this stuff all up. We'll get the tangs nipped off for the new fret wire, and it's going to take me a while to do that. It's a lot of handwork. Even with tang nippers, you still have to use a flat file to clean out what's left. So thanks again for tuning in. I really do appreciate all the views and comments. Hope this stuff helps you guys out. See you real soon. Okie doke.